This afternoon, I'm writing to the board of South East Water to ask for their head, Dave Hinton, to step down, because I think the man clearly, I don't want to say couldn't run a bath, because, lots of people can't run
at the moment. It depends where he lives.
Exactly. So, excuse the pun.
Is there anything worse, honestly, than not having a decent water supply? South East Water says that Storm Goretti is to blame for the leaks and bursts that have left thousands of households across Kent and Sussex with no water or just facing intermittent supplies. Now, the water company's leadership are being summoned by the House of Commons Environment Committee to give evidence. The Kent Conservative MP Katie Lamb was on Times Radio Breakfast this morning. Stig Abel asked her if she had any confidence at all in South East Water's chief executive. It's a man called Dave Hinton.
I'm afraid none. So the ability to get information out of South East Water is almost unbelievably poor. Like I think I'm a cynic, and I've been really shocked by how terrible it is. There was supposed to be a bottled water station in my constituency, and nobody from South East Water was able to tell me if there was any water there. So if you speak to them, they say, oh, well, somebody on Facebook said the water's run out. It's like, well, can't you speak to somebody who is actually running the water station and find out if there's any water there? In the end, my team and I just had to go there ourselves. That was the only way that we could find out if there was anything there. I mean, they just don't know what they're doing, and they don't seem to understand that this is a problem.
Should he go, do you think, in the end?
I think it's untenable. I don't see how he can stay, and I've signed a letter from a group of MPs saying that this is really the end of the road.
Well, she couldn't really be any clearer, could she? It's just worth knowing that South East Water's chief executive, Dave Hinton, earns well in excess of $400,000 a year. I think he earns a basic of about 400, and then last year he got a bonus of, what was it, £115,000, I think. So it's not bad, is it? More than 20 schools have been forced to close as a result of the disruption. Several others, we're told, are partially closed. Well, one business badly affected is the Signal Box Cafe in Hollingbourne. It's had to shut, and the manager is Julie Wood. Julie, this must be really frustrating for you.
Yeah, it's been incredibly frustrating. We found out at the last minute on Saturday morning that we would have to close, which obviously had a huge impact on our business. Many of the staff are volunteers and or on 0-hour contracts. So, yeah, it was difficult. We are open today.
You are? Okay. I was going to ask about that. Yeah, go on.
We are, but I just heard that one of the local villages is now without water again, so it's just very uncertain.
Right. I mean, this is so incredibly annoying. You can't make any plans at all, can you?
No. It's really difficult, and obviously we had to throw food away on Saturday because it wouldn't last, and it's difficult to know how to plan the week.
What about? I mean, I'm guessing you have insurance.
We do, yeah.
Does that help?
I don't know. I guess so. We haven't looked into that yet.
No, I suppose that's probably not at the forefront of your mind right now. You're losing money, or you have lost money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sleepless nights?
Well, Saturdays are our busiest day. We just come back we had a 2-week break. So, yeah, we really needed to be open on Saturday.
Do you believe South East Water when they say, well, look, it's Storm Goretti, we're really sorry, but it's not really our fault?
No, not at all. I mean, the water, there are burst leaks everywhere, and there have been for quite a while.
So this is nothing new as far as you're concerned? Nothing
new, no. And, I mean, luckily the village have really pulled together, and which they shouldn't have to, having to go and get water to give to vulnerable people in the village. Our nearest water station was in Headcorn, which people were arriving, taking an hour to get there and finding they didn't have any water.
Well, that echoes what Katie Lamb, the MP, was saying, that communication is just terrible.
Oh, no, it's been terrible.
Yeah, I feel really very sorry for you. Thank you very much for talking to us. I know you're frustrated, and it's a tough time. We're very grateful. That's Julie Wood, who is the manager of the Signal Box Cafe in Hollingbourne. Listening to that was Linden Kemkaran, Reform UK leader of Kent County Council. Linden, you've declared a major incident. It always sounds very dramatic, but what does that mean?
Well, what it meant was, Jane, is that on Sunday, Kent County Council, which chairs the Kent and Medway Resilience Forum, realised that this problem was growing, more and more households and businesses were being affected. So it had reached the level where we had to take it up a notch and declare it as a major incident, which then allows us to convene meetings more regularly, have more time with ministerial input, and basically just try and bring it up a notch so that we could try and coordinate the efforts by South East Water and Southern Water to get that bottled water out to places like Headcorn, where people could go and pick up supplies because their water had been off for over 24 hours by that point.
Right, so has communication improved since you declared that major incident? Because we've just heard Julie, she's got a business to run and she's losing money, and we've heard the MP also saying that their communication is just rotten.
The communication is utterly appalling. It's shambolic. KCC is not an operational outfit. It's not our job to communicate with the customers of Southern Water and South East Water. It is purely our job to help them coordinate the supplies and the deliveries of their replacement water. No, there's been no common sense approach. I went on the website earlier to look up how my area, where I actually live, was faring. The website is not user-friendly. You've got the same message for every single area you tap on. There's no individual approach. I mean, for example, when I get a power cut, which happens fairly frequently, I live very rurally, I get a message straight away from my the power network people telling me your power's gone off. This is the problem. This is what we're doing to fix it. This is when it's going to be back on. And 9 out of 10 times, it's fairly accurate. South East Water, absolutely nowhere near that level of communication with their customers. I mean, it's just awful. You know, people have been left not knowing when supply might come back, or supply comes back on and then it goes off again, you know, so it's intermittent. You can't plan your life.
Well, no, I mean, you can't, and particularly if you're running a business or if you don't even know whether your children's school is going to be open. I mean, this is absolutely hopeless. And South East Water, they should be used to it. They've had problems going back over a year, haven't they?
South East Water is one of the worst water companies in the UK. This afternoon, I'm writing to the board of South East Water to ask for their head, Dave Hinton, to step down, because I think the man clearly, I don't want to say couldn't run a bath, because, you know, lots of people can't run
at the moment. It depends where he lives.
Exactly. So excuse the pun, but I really think he's proven again and again that he's just incapable of investing properly in the infrastructure needed to keep all his customers supplied. I mean, you talk about people not being able to have a shower or run water from the tap. Kent is largely agricultural. You know, we have a huge number of farms. On Sunday, I heard of a dairy farmer in Hollingbourne, just up the road from the cafe owner you were just talking to. They've got dairy cows. They need to rinse through their milking equipment so that it's hygienic and ready to use the next morning for the milking round. They couldn't do that. You know, I've heard of other people with large animals. They can't get water from the, you know, bottled water is no good when you're having to fill up great big trucks for sheep, cattle, horses. I mean, you know, the problems are absolutely immense. And the thing is, this isn't the first time. This is the second time within a month that KCC has had to ramp up its resilience meeting structure and help South East Water, because before Christmas, Tunbridge Wells was without water for 2 whole weeks.
Yeah, and we hear today that they've been summoned back to Parliament, but I think they've already given evidence to Parliament this year, and it's only the 13th of January. Mr Hinton probably doesn't have long in the role. I mean, his salary is extraordinarily generous, isn't it? I mean, basically with a bonus, he's on over £500,000 a year.
It is. I mean, yeah, to earn that much money and to be this missing in action when something goes wrong. I mean, before Christmas, when the Tunbridge Wells crisis was happening, there was no sign of him. He didn't appear on the media. He didn't come out and meet the public. And again, you know, he might be talking to the ministers, but he's certainly not communicating with the people who pay his wages.
Is he communicating with you?
Not really. No. I had an update just before I came on air with you from my team, who are involved in these, you know, almost hourly meetings to assess the situation. They said that the communication has been utterly shambolic. And the thing is, when these people get fined by the water regulator, they just put the fines on top of the customers' bills. You know, I doubt if Mr Hinton has ever been out of pocket personally for the shambolic way in which he runs his company. I think the time has come for him to really offer his resignation. If he's got a scrap of honour, he would do that this afternoon.
Well, just to be clear then, you haven't personally spoken to him?
No, I haven't.
That's a bit odd, isn't it? Why not?
Well, I'm the leader of Kent County Council. I'm not chairing the Kent and Medway Resilience Fund. That falls to our Gold Command, who is a rotation of senior officers within the KCC staff. That's the structure. Right. That's how it works. And they come and update me at regular intervals.
Right. Just briefly a look at other matters. And you have had to announce that the council tax in Kent is going up by about 4%. Now, this isn't quite what Reform voters were hoping for, I don't think. I mean, you were bringing in your Doge, and it was all about getting rid of waste and hopefully bringing the council tax down. What's happened?
Well, we are bringing it down, Jane. I mean, the Tories were going to put it up by 5%.
Yeah, and you're putting it up by 4%.
3.99%.
Well, it's 4%. I mean,
that is a 20% decrease in what was planned to be the raise this year. So I think the residents of Kent will be quite grateful for that. And we've done that through a series of savings rounds, which we've implemented in the last 8 months, and also projected savings and a change in culture at KCC, where everybody is looking for every single penny that we can save in every single department. And it's paying off. We've been able to set a balanced draft budget and not put up council tax to the fullest extent, which I think you'll find most other councils will be doing.
But it's still going up by, let's be precise, 3.99%. Just worth saying, I wonder whether you're concerned about the latest polling, which has Reform on 24%. We need to be clear, you're still in the lead, but the Tories appear to be enjoying a little bit of a mini revival. This was done before the defection of Nadeem Zahawi. Do you think the news yesterday might have boosted the Reform polling?
I'm sure it will. I think Nadeem Zahawi is a great get for Reform to have on side. He's a politician of great experience. He's going to bring an awful lot of experience of actually having been in government, which of course Nigel Farage has been very open about, saying that's what we lack at the moment. I think he's a great addition to Reform's team.
I mean, he was part of what was regarded by many people, including lots of Reform voters, as one of the most inept governments of our time.
Yes, you could say that all the Tory governments were inept in one way or another. But look, Reform is completely different. We are setting a new path. We're doing it here in Kent. You know, you talk about council tax going up by 3.99%. That's a win. We're not putting it up to the full 5%. You look at other councils. They are in terrible financial situations. They've got no idea how to get out of it. What we've managed to do is bring a commercial brain, business mindset to being public servants. And I think the public are starting to see the benefits of having a Reform administration in control.
Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Linden Kemkaran, and that was the Reform UK leader of Kent County Council. I do urge you, if you haven't read Tom Peck's sketch in the Times today, it's at thetimes.com, of course, online. It's about Nadeem Zahawi, and it's just one of the funniest bits of writing about politics that I've read recently.
If you are without water in that part of Kent, we would love to hear from you how often you've been updated as to when the water might be coming back. We've heard terrible tales of sludge coming out of taps. I would have thought many of you will be wanting to boil your water and boil some members of those companies as well for some weeks to come.